You can elevate your style with these simple accessories, all of which cost less than $100. Let's start off with what is my most essential accessory, and that is a bracelet. And for those of you who have never owned a single piece of men's jewelry, I have the perfect option. You want something simple, minimal, and not too out there. This is the perfect way to get into men's jewelry. And this black toggle bracelet from Crafted London is genuinely the best option. Yet it does a perfect job of adding depth to your outfit and making you elevate your style. And I genuinely think that for the price, this is the best option. It is only $30, and truth be told, for less than $40, you're probably not going to find anything just as good. They have one in silver and one in gold, and since I usually carry other gold bracelets, I thought the gold one would fit perfectly, so that's the one that I went with. And if you are wondering about my other bracelets, I'm not going to lie to you, these are nowhere near $100, so we'll skip over this for now. But speaking of stacking bracelets, this one in particular is very easy to pair with. And that's because it's so minimal that it honestly looks best with other items. Sure, you could wear it by itself. That's not a bad option by any means, but something this simple is going to complement other items. And it doesn't just have to be a bracelet, because in this video, there are plenty of options and none of them are going to break the bank. The next item is a great example of that. And it's again from Crafted London. This is a 3mm Figaro chain. And again, it's extremely affordable. It's only $45. And as far as plated gold goes, for under $50, this has to be one of the best options I've seen. Now, if you know me, I like my chains minimal. That's exactly why I went with a 3mm, but they do have other options, and I'm currently stacking it with my other gold chain. Again, this is nowhere near $100, so right now it's not even worth the conversation. But what you can learn from my stack, it pairs perfectly with other chains and necklaces that you might want to wear it with, or you could even throw on a pendant on this chain. And so for this price, it probably makes it one of the more versatile options. It's minimal, yet it still stands out. And if you're wondering, the length that I chose mine in is 19.5 inches. Now let's talk about a watch, which is probably an accessory that I cannot live without. It makes any outfit look better, makes you look more put together, and overall just more mature. And especially if you're on the younger side, you need to start wearing a watch, because in my personal experience, when I got my first one, I genuinely thought I should have been wearing this sooner. So here is the actual best option for $100, and that is a Casio AQ230. To this day, this is still one of my favorite watches. This is coming from somebody who is a complete watch nerd, and I still wear this a ton. For one, if I'm going out and I don't want to worry about banging up my expensive watches, this is the one that I'm going to go with. Now the case size is a little bit smaller, and if you're not used to that, then it's definitely worth considering. For the longest, I used to get turned off by small watches. I thought they looked feminine, but as I became more of a watch enthusiast, I kind of realized that the smaller watches, they look way better, especially on my wrist because I have small wrists. It's easy for a watch to take over my entire wrist, and that is a huge watch mistake that I see a lot of guys make. And now I kind of realized that the small watches are usually the more classy ones. So I could dress this up or I could wear it casually. I chose mine in a black dial, but they have plenty of different options, including some very interesting ones. Granted, these are a little bit more hard to find, but if you can find them, it's definitely worth the pickup. As always, everything that I'm going to be talking about is going to be linked in the description, so that way you can try these out for yourself. The next best accessory is a hat, and this is obviously very easy to find for under $100. So let's go over the best ones in my opinion. My favorite one are fitted baseball hats. These are just the easiest to wear, and they're actually one of the few options that genuinely look good on me. At least in my opinion, because most of the time I just look goofy in hats. And so for the longest, I thought I was doomed. I thought that there was no chance that I could wear any hats. But once I found the new era fitted hats, I took it and ran. I bought so many different options, so many from teams that I had no idea existed. And to this day, some of which I couldn't even tell you what team is that, even if you asked. And on that subject, if you are in the same boat as me and you know absolutely nothing about baseball, you can check out the Fear of God fitted hats. It's the same exact thing, but it's in collaboration with Fear of God. It's the same price. They're very easy to find. So again, it's definitely worth considering. Now again, these are very versatile because they have so many different colors, so many different options. In fact, if you like snapbacks, they have options for that as well. I just prefer the fitted ones. I would recommend going in store and trying out what size works best for you. I strangely enough feel like I have a pretty big head, so it was definitely a lifesaver going in store and picking them up rather than ordering them online. But if you want different options, you can check out this one from Amy Leon Dore. It's another baseball hat, but I love the color, and this style of hat is something that I want to get into more. Granted, I do think that the fitted ones look better on me, but it's always worth trying something new, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Now going back to jewelry and going back to Crafted London, because I think this is one of the best brands, especially if you're on a budget. This Triumph pendant chain is a great option, especially for the price. So this one retails for $85, which is obviously more than the last ones, but this one comes with the chain and a pendant. And in my opinion, this stands out way better than just a normal chain by itself. So depending on what you're into, if you like more minimal, go with a normal chain, or if you want something to stand out just a little bit more, then it's worth trying a pendant necklace. And if you're really feeling bold, which in my opinion you definitely should, then pick up both, so that way you have a stack around your neck. And as long as you don't overdo it, it's going to look 10 times better than just wearing one single piece, because in my opinion, that's just going to get a little bit boring, at least after a while. It's also a great way to add personality and depth to your outfit, but having a bunch of different pendants from a bunch of different brands is something that I always recommend that you check out. The most common one is probably a crossed one. I always get questions about the pendant that I have. This is a St. Michael pendant. This is solid gold, so again, nowhere near $100, but you can find some similar pieces in plated gold that's going to fall a lot better into your budget. The next thing you could check out are pearl necklaces. Now these used to be a lot more common about 2 years ago, and since then it's slowly started to die off. But right now, since it's summer, I think this is still a great option that in my opinion just looks really good. Now these are really easy to find. The ones that I have are from Cernucci, but I've seen ones just as good on Amazon, and especially from Amazon, they're extremely affordable. Now these have always been a little bit controversial. It's either people hate them or people love them. So just take what I'm about to say with a little grain of salt. So for one, again, I always stress the importance of trying new things and getting out your comfort zone, and a pearl necklace is definitely a great way to do so. But I think these are very seasonal. They only look good in the warmer weather, and I really only wear them if I'm going to the beach or the pool. So if you're watching this video around that time, then check out Amazon. Worst case scenario, you pay $15, maybe $20, and you only wear it a few times. I will say this has gotten me a ton of compliments, and if it's your goal to start wearing things that are gonna make you stand out and get more compliments, sometimes you're gonna have to get out your comfort zone. Sometimes you're gonna have to wear something that's a little bit more out there than what everybody else is. And especially because they started to lose their hype, you're really not gonna see this everywhere. Now my favorite accessory, which is colognes. For under $100, you are very limited, or at least that's what I used to think. Now I started to realize what makes a cologne so expensive. And that is because I used to buy them straight from department stores. But now I found some fragrance stores or places like Joma Shop who gets authentic bottles for a lower price. I used to think that these were knockoff, that these were not real, but then I started to shop on there and I started to do my own research. And what I found out was that when you go into Macy's or any department store, they have testers. And sometimes these places like Joma Shop or fragrance stores, they could just buy the testers and sell it to you for a discounted price. They're 100% real. A lot of times the testers are made in the same batch as the ones that go into the normal bottles. I think the main thing that I realized that all these designers, the markups on fragrances is insanely high. So you can find them for a lot more affordable on these brands. I think Mont Blanc Legend Spirit is the easiest go-to. Scentbird has been one of my favorites recently. I'm still head over heels on my recent pickup, which is a bottle that retails for $300, but I got it for less than $10 using Scentbird. Like I said, I've done the research. You could trust me if you want, or you can go to the department stores and spend a lot more money. And now let's talk about sunglasses. And again, for the warm weather, this is one of the accessories that I can't live without. But sunglasses for under $100 used to be the hardest thing to find. But now I started to explore my options, and as much as I love Ray-Bans, they clearly cannot be the one that I recommend because they are very far from $100. One of my recent favorite pickups are these from Hours Collection. These are a lot more trendy. They look very unique, so they're gonna do a good job of standing out. They make their recommendation for under $100. Now let's talk about a card holder. And there's two for $100 that I highly recommend. I love the Apple Wallet. This retails for $50, but it can only hold 2 or 3 cards. And sometimes 3 is pushing it depending on how big your card is. So again, talking about Hours Collection, this new card holder from them is sleek, minimal, very clearly high quality, and definitely holds a lot more cards than the Apple Wallet. So as far as bang for your buck goes, this one is the best option. And because it's so slim, it's easily became one of my favorite wallets to carry around from time to time. I also love the fact that right here it says time is money. It's an interesting little feature, and it's a small detail that just makes it that more interesting. Look, one thing I learned is exactly what I mentioned throughout this entire video. In my opinion, it's always worth at least trying. So let me know where your next pickup is going to be. If you can't tell by now, I'm starting to get sweaty. That's because it's insanely hot outside. And speaking of that, if you want to know the 10 items that I cannot live without this summer, here's a video that's going to show you exactly that.